professionals. And what we bring forward in the Sensible School Lunch Act is what the professionals have told us they need. And by the professionals, I mean 60,000 school nutritionists across this country who are in the schools every single day making sure that our children's nutritional needs are taken care of and taken care of well. Of course, what we're talking about is getting flexibility into the school lunch and school breakfast program that enables schools to deliver these lunches in a way that meets the nutritional needs, addresses things like childhood obesity, but does it in a way that works, a common sense way. That's important because the initial guidelines, which were put out last March, would have cost schools $75 million a year more than they were getting in federal reimbursement to provide those lunches. That's a huge cost. That's $75 million a year. Even more importantly, the schools were not in a position to provide the kinds of lunches that the professionals said they should be able to provide. Why is that? Well, there's three areas that I'm going to just touch on briefly before I turn it over to Mark. One is you've got a calorie limit, then you've got a protein limit, and then you've got a grains limit. We keep the calorie limit in place under this legislation. That stays in place. So we're still addressing the childhood obesity issue, which is so important, right? But in terms of the proteins and the grains, we provided needed flexibility so that when you have children of different sizes with different physical activities and different nutritional needs and so forth, they've got the flexibility to provide the kinds of meals that work. Two quick examples. You've got in the category of kindergarten to 8th grade, formerly they were limited to the same amount of protein. So you could have a kindergartner, like a small kindergartner, and a pretty big strapping 8th grader who were limited to the same amount of protein. Okay, we took care of that. Grains, same thing. Same problem. They could. I think the variation was 1 ounce a week. These guys will get into a little more of the specific. One other example, 9th grader. Let's say you got a 9th grader that maybe isn't out for sports, is focused on music and some of those kind of things, maybe a smaller person, 9th grade. And then you've got a great big 12th grader. Let's say, huge person, maybe out for football, physically active all day long. They were limited to the same amount of protein and grains. And it just didn't make sense. And in other cases, we had kids who were going away hungry, and so some of the flexibility in terms of the fruits and the vegetables that they could get as well to make sure that they're filled up. So those are the kind of common sense changes that we made. And again, it's the kind of flexibility and common sense that we've built in as a result of hearing from the professionals and how they feel it should be done.